Okay, this is not my lecture, it's orientation towards the readings that we're going to talk about. You're going to be quizzed on Monday, especially the Greeley reading and the Harrison Landing letter. Let me talk about the Harrison Landing letter first. This is a letter that McClellan wrote to Lincoln after his defeat. It's actually, he's still in Virginia at this point. He hasn't quite finished his retreat. And McClellan senses that Lincoln is moving towards emancipation, that this conciliatory war that I have talked about, although they didn't use that term, that's what the historian Mark Grimsley uses. But anyway, this limited war that Lincoln has been fighting, where it's kind of a chessboard war. It's army versus army, not bringing in civilians, but above all, not about emancipation. That Lincoln is changing direction on that, and McClellan is warning him not to do that. It's a pretty extraordinary and once again insubordinate note from a general to a president, because in our society, civilian leadership predominates. So that's the Harrison Landing letter. The Greeley letter is very important because what the Greeley letter is Lincoln in July has decided that he has to move towards emancipation. The war's not going well. He has to play the emancipation card. He has to undermine the labor infrastructure of the South for military reasons, if not really for moral reasons. Although in this case there was, they nicely converged, which probably was pleasant for Lincoln. But he sells it, Lincoln anyway, emancipation on military grounds, not moral grounds. And he sends this letter. This guy Greeley, he's a publisher of the New York Herald Tribune. It's kind of like Fox or MSNBC or CNN. It was something that he was a national figure. And he writes Lincoln a letter saying, "What are you going to do about slavery?" And Lincoln sends this letter back to him, but it's published. This is a public exchange. It's not a private exchange. And what he is doing, Lincoln, he's raising a flag up a flagpole. And what I'll say is Lincoln has privately and secretly decided to issue the Emancipation Proclamation. But instead of telling you what Lincoln is up to in this letter to Horace Greeley, I want you to read it, and I'll just the middle paragraph. And what is the phrase that Lincoln uses the most? And that's actually the quiz question I'm going to ask. What is the phrase that Lincoln uses the most? And he uses it like 8 times, 9 times. It should be pretty obvious if you spend 5 minutes reading the thing. It's very short. And what is Lincoln trying to get across? What is he saying about emancipation? Is he open to it? Is he close to it? And remember, in secret now, Lincoln has decided that he has to issue the Emancipation Proclamation, but he hasn't told, he's maybe told maybe his innermost cabinet, but he hasn't told the public yet. So when you look at this letter to Horace Greeley, it's Lincoln trying to shape public opinion about a decision that he's already made. So what do you think Lincoln is up to in the Greeley letter? And we'll talk about that on Monday.